Hello, everybody. I want to be the first to welcome you to the live demonstration of the Hindi script application for the iPad. Um, my name is Teju Prasad. I am the lead developer of the Hindi script app. And as a quick intro, I wanted to describe the app. Um, the Hindi script app is designed to teach essentially how to write the Devanagari script, which is used in Hindi, Sanskrit, and a few other Indian languages. Uh, the app as well, in addition to teaching how to actually write the script, it does instruct a little bit of the more interesting features about the script itself. So as we go through the demonstration, I will be discussing those as well. So with that stated, we can now get started. So as you can see here, the main page of the app shows the three main categories of letters. So vowels, consonants, and combinations, with combinations, of course, being the compound letters. So what we'll do is we will tap on the vowel button, and what this gives us is the main vowel page where the letters are split up into pairs. And if we scroll left and right, we can see that all the vowels are listed. As well, there is a button here. When you click, it gives you a little bit of information about the vowels. So it describes the pairing, um, describes the differences, say, between long sounds and short sounds, uh, diphthongs, monophthongs. So it does include a little bit of the linguistic content, the linguistic features of the Devanagari script. So if we tap on one of these buttons, we see this brings us to the main drawing screen. Now the main drawing screen is essentially the bulk of the app. This is the kind of core functionality of the app and the drawing instruction. So I'll just walk through the drawing process. The philosophy of this app is to actually provide guided instructions. So each letter has a 1 and 2 point. And the way you would go about drawing is you would actually drag your finger from the 1 until the 2 at all times. Now the key is to draw slowly. So we'll draw from the 1 to the 2. Now when reaching the 2, you'll see that it doesn't allow you to draw any further. So when reaching the 2, you release your finger, and then it gives you the next set of the 1 and the 2. Now you'll notice if you draw outside the lines, it doesn't allow you. So this kind of guided instruction, really, you wouldn't find anywhere else in any other application, to my knowledge. So we will just continue this one to finish the letter. So when you finish the letter, what happens is you get this completion screen. And the completion screen has three options. One is to restart and redraw the same letter. The other one is the next, which will give you the next letter. Or you can also play the audio directly from this screen, which I'll do now. So this plays the sound. So I'll restart this, and I'll show you a little bit more of this single letter drawing screen. For some of the letters, you'll see that the audio button, there's actually a primary and a secondary audio button. So the primary audio button plays the letter that you see. So it's the same sound, up. Now in this case, because it's a vowel and the pairing in this particular case is long and short, it allows you to play the secondary button allows you to play the other letter in the same pair. So in this case, so now you can compare the two within the same drawing screen. These next and previous buttons actually allow you also to jump to the next one. And you can see here now, is our primary and becomes our secondary. And I can jump forward. Now you can also see that when drawing, if you decide that you want to restart and you've messed up, you can actually click the restart button and it starts you all the way from the beginning again. With the drawer button, you can also jump non-linearly to any letter within this particular category. So you can see here, reach the 2, release, and then you get the second set. So the key is to always draw from 1 until 2. So I'll jump back to the main screen. So after vowels, next is consonant. Now the consonant screen actually has two different ways to display the consonants. One is by what's called source of articulation. So source of articulation represents the position in the voice tract from which the sound generates. So in this case, as you can see here, when this top row of the consonants are highlighted, you can see the picture here with this indication. It shows the velar sounds that are generating from the back of the throat. Now if you tap this box, it actually flips and it gives you a description of what the velar sounds are, and as well gives you a play button which plays all the sounds in this particular sequence.
Ka, ka, ga, gha, nga.
Now by tapping on these row buttons here, I can actually jump to another row. I get the description, retroflex. If I tap back, I can see the position has changed because now it's a different position in the vocal tract. So I'll go through that once again. You can see if you see here, the position changes. And you can also play all the sounds in this particular sequence.
Ta, tha, da, dha, na.
Now above here you can see this segmented controller that says source and manner. If you tap this, it actually realigns the consonants by column, because the columns in Devanagari actually are arranged by what's called the manner of articulation. And the manner of articulation is basically the shaping of the mouth, positioning of the tongue and the teeth and the mouth when you utter the sound. And the categories here are really broken up into voiced and unvoiced, aspirated and unaspirated. So voicing in this case describes the engagement of the vocal cords. So the difference between, say, a ta and a da is that da is a voiced sound because the vocal cords are engaged, whereas ta is an unvoiced sound because the vocal cords are not engaged. Now, aspirated and unaspirated represents that plosive kind of burst of air between certain sounds. So the difference, say, between ka and ka, that's the unaspirated and aspirated sounds. So again, if you tap here, you can play all of the letters in that particular sequence.
Ka, cha, ta, ta, pa.
And I'll jump to another one.
Ga, ja, da, da, ba.
And I will jump back to the source. So I can scroll down. Oops. There we go. So you can see here there are other categories. Now if you tap on an individual consonant button, it takes you again to the single letter drawing screen, which is essentially laid out exactly the same as the vowel screen. So we'll draw single letter. And then we see the same finished drawing view. It shows you what you've drawn and gives you again the three different options of restart, next, or playing the audio.
Ga.
So I'll restart. Now the primary, secondary audio buttons here are illustrating the aspirated and unaspirated pairing. So in this case, the primary sound is G,
G,
and you can play the aspirated version from the same screen.
Gha, Ga, Gha,
So what this is essentially another reinforcement that instructs the user the difference between the aspirated and unaspirated sound. And once again, you have your drawer that allows you to jump to any letter in the set. There we go. So we'll jump back to the combination screen. Now the combination screen, it allows you to actually draw and select, at this point, only consonant plus vowel combinations. So in this case, you can see from the drawer, there's actually two columns, one for consonants and one for vowels. So in this case, you will have to select the consonant, select the vowel, and then once you've selected two letters, you swipe left on this black overlay screen here, this transparency, and the letter that you've selected shows up. Now once again, you have your audio.
Chi,
And the drawing, of course, is exactly the same. 1 to 2, release. And if you draw outside, oops, it goes away. And you can restart. Now, one thing about the combination screen is certain combinations don't really exist in the sense that they don't really have any place in any words, or they're not really commonly used. So you can see an example of them, one of those, because the app actually disallows it from actually being drawn. So if I select, you'll see here, if I select the R sound as the consonant, the R vowel will actually disappear because R plus R doesn't really exist. So if you keep your eyes fixed on this, I will tap this, you can see it went away here. And then when I click on a sound that does have the capability of being connected with R, it comes back. So see, it came back there. So you can see that this functionality allows, it kind of takes into account the practicality of certain combinations as well. So you can see here there are many combinations because we have in this first column 33 consonants available, and then of course the set of 13 vowels. So you know, every one of those letters exists. You can just choose one at random, and you can see here again, you know, the guided instruction drawing for each of the letters. So I will come back. The next thing I'd like to go over is the progress screen, because with so many letters, there needed to be a way to measure the progress of the drawing. So if I click on the progress screen, I see here the categories are set up: vowels, consonants, and combinations, just like the main screen. And if I tap on this button, what happens is you get a popover, and the popover has a set of letters that are displayed, that are listed. Now, what this list represents is all the letters in that particular set that I have yet to complete. So if I come here, you'll see there's quite a few. So all of these letters are ones that I have yet to complete. So if I tap on one of these letters inside this popover, it actually takes me directly to the letter to complete it. So I'll go ahead and complete it. So you can see I've just completed the n consonant. Now if I come back to the progress screen and I tap on consonants, you can see that na should no longer be there. Yeah, see, ta, ta, da, dha, and then there's no na because I've completed it. So what happens is when, in this case, I've completed all the vowels except for aha. So I'll walk through this one. We'll complete it. And you can see you get the indication that you've completed that particular set. So once again, in the combinations, you can see for each consonant, if you tap on it, you get a set of vowels. And these represent the combinations that you have not yet completed. So in this case, ka plus a, ka plus ai. So when you tap on this, again, it takes you directly to the letter that you need to complete. And I'll jump back to my progress. And I'll jump back to the main screen. So the next section, which I think to be probably one of the more useful sections, because it is essentially making sure that the user or the learner or whoever is using this application, whether it's being used in an individual setting or a classroom setting, this is what's making sure that they've learned something, and it assesses and it tests them. So the assessment section, what it essentially is a sound and letter kind of identification game. So you see here that you have a play button and you have this, play the sound.
ta,
So you get the sound, and based on that sound, you have to identify the correct letter. Now you see in this particular case, the four choices are all different variations of the same consonant letter. So in this particular question, it's actually testing to make sure you understand vowels in the matra form. So in this case, it's making sure that it's the same consonant, so it's really the vowel letter drawing that it's testing. So we'll play it once again.
ta,
And got it right. And then once you get it right, it allows you to jump to the next.
e, e,
Now when you choose the wrong one, it just says it doesn't allow you to jump anywhere else, but choose the right one. You got it. Now in this case also you notice here that the four choices are all vowels. So again, there's sometimes randomly what happens is it chooses a set of letters, whether it be vowels or consonants or combinations, and it says, okay, I'm only going to present you choices in this category to make sure that you can differentiate letters within the same category.
u,
There we go. And off to the left here, you see there's a little timer section. So there's a 1 minute kind of timed game that maybe classrooms can play at once, and they can all see which who can get the high score. So when you tap the start button, it starts off a countdown, and
ga,
your job is to try and get as many as you can in this particular time. Oops.
um, u, r, low, da, pu,
And you can see here there's another question where the four letters are from the same consonant set, so really it's the vowels that it's testing.
pu,
So as you can see, when the timer expires, and if I've scored more than the current high score, I get a little message here that says, "Oh, nice, you have a nice high score, new high score." So lastly, I wanted to show a little bit more on the kind of information about the script. So if we tap on this button here, we get a little bit of an explanation as to what exactly Devanagari is, um, how it's kind of a syllabic language, not a language, say like English, where kind of the fundamental unit is the letter rather than the syllable. Uh, and you can also play the name of the script.
Devanagari.
And lastly, there's an information screen which goes over the fundamental drawing operation to slowly drag from 1 until 2. After reaching point 2, you release to show the next point 1 and point 2, and the drawer buttons and the restart buttons. And one thing, of course, that's very important with this app is to always draw slowly. Um, the purpose of it is not to get through it as quick as possible. The purpose of it is to learn, and so in order to do that, if you draw too fast, you'll likely cause the letter to shake, and you'll have to restart anyway. So one thing to keep in mind is when using it, or when using it as an instructional tool, is to always draw slowly. And that was pretty much a walkthrough of the general functions. So I actually wanted to discuss a little bit more about the future directions of the app because I have received many questions. Um, One of the future directions is to actually add more consonant combinations. So here, as you can see, uh, right now the combinations that it supports are consonant plus vowel, but anyone who is familiar with the script and the languages that use the script, know that there are a great deal of consonant combinations. So consonant combinations is one of the future directions, one of the future add-ons. Another future add-on is to potentially add words, very simple words, of course, as an instructional component. Because some instructors have noted that learning the letters is good, and it's important fundamental step, but learning them contextually in words is also could be very useful. So that's another direction. Now, some people have asked about larger projects like an Android support version, or a language app for another language, because as many know, that many of the Indian languages don't use Devanagari. They use a different script entirely. And with those, I'm constantly looking for investors. If there's anyone who feels that this is a useful tool, please send me a message. Please send us a message through the website. There's a contact link there. The website, of course, is just www.hindiscript.com. So it's just the name of the app.com. From the website, you can find a contact link, and you can send me a message. If anyone is interested in supporting an application that is for Android or another language, I'd be happy to discuss this. The app is actually currently available by searching the Apple App Store. The name, of course, is just Hindi Script. So if you just log on and search for Hindi Script, you can get the app. Lastly, I also wanted to discuss a discounted price for nonprofits that wish to purchase the app in bulk. I found that many community centers and schools that teach the language to children wanted to use the app. This is something I can do. We actually do have a plan for. Again, with this, you'll have to contact us through the website. Again, that's hindiscript.com, and just mention that you're representing a nonprofit and you're interested in kind of the bulk purchase procedure, and we will be happy to send you that information. And lastly, I wanted to thank all the supporters of this project. This project was really created by community support, and it was a very kind of slow process in the beginning, and it's been in development for almost a year, maybe a year and a half now. So definitely that kind of progress and that level of progress would not be available if the supporters did not engage and actively support. And I'll just do a quick scroll through to thank the people involved. There we go. And I'll leave that up there. And lastly, of course, I want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in. This was the first time that we've done this, and we hope it's been helpful. Once again, if there's any questions, any suggestions, anything at all, please do contact us on the website. The website, once again, is just hindiscript.com, and you click on the contact link, and you can contact us directly. Um, Otherwise, have a great afternoon or morning or night or wherever time zone that you happen to be tuning in from. Thanks a lot again, and take care. Goodbye.